Robinhood, getting into sports, the popular trading platform this week, added a prediction markets hub for just in time for March Madness. It's designed to give customers the ability to trade on the outcomes of events like basketball games.
Well, I think you've watched over the years, sports as a whole has just been growing in interest, just globally, but also here in the United States. And what we did see is an increased cross-section of our clients interested in participating in and involved in sports. And when you have that intersection come together, we as Robinhood want to bring our capabilities, our app, our trading venues to where clients are going. And that's exactly what we're doing with these sports prediction markets.
Did you not want to intro that soundbite?
Oh, you know, I hope our CNBC president, Casey Sullivan, was listening to that soundbite, because what he just said was the entire premise for the launch of the CNBC Sport
By
vertical.
the way, you're Alex Sherman. I was supposed to intro you.
Yeah.
You are a sports bet. I would have let you read do your own soundbite.
My own
because
soundbite.
I refuse to say take a listen.
Right.
I will not.
I will lower myself to saying take a listen. Yes.
Just say listen or here it is.
You're right, that actually
Because
is
it's
better.
like Anchor 101.
Right, I should introduce myself now, right? I'm Alex Sherman.
You
the
are
CNBC
Alex Sherman.
Media and sports
You're
reporter.
amazing and break all this stuff and are a huge addition.
And it's what he was saying there is that there's this cross-section between finance and sports now that has sort of percolated in all these different ways. Not only are the owners of so many of these sports teams finance people in their day jobs, but also from an investment standpoint, you're seeing so much crossover between interest in traditional financial products and sports betting. And what Robinhood has announced here, and in partnership with Kalshi, which is this predictions market, is not standard sports betting, but it's derivative of that. It's sort of a one-off, which is this idea of these prediction markets where there is a buyer and a seller. So it is a two-way trade. There's no house. There's no sports book. But it is a new way to bet on March Madness, which kicks off today. And so now you're betting on, will Duke win this game, yes or no? And there are buyers and sellers, and there's a probability involved. And, the trade goes up or down, and you can sell out before the game ends. And this is sort of the next iteration, I would say, of sports betting.
How did the odds are unbelievable, and the spreads that they get are unbelievable. They're down to I lost the game by a half point again last night after I won. It was a three-way parlay. I would have won. There already must be some of this already in the way that they come up with the odds.
Well, what's interesting is, so they don't need to. Robinhood does not need to come up with the odds because the market comes up with the odds in this. But
the market comes up with the odds
right. Well, how do they do that?
They do it too.
Correct. And so I'm sure they use data from traditional sports books in order to come up with that. Absolutely, as well as everything else in the world. But what's interesting to me is that sports betting is only legal in certain states, but this is a CFTC-regulated product, which means it's a federal, national product. So this is legal everywhere in Robinhood. So that is an interesting wrinkle here where if you do live in a state where you haven't been able to bet legally online, you can now go to Robinhood or a predictions market and kind of get in on the action in this new way. Again, it's not quite the same thing as sports betting, but it's close.
The volatility seems like it would be greater if you're betting this way because there is a market that is moving constantly.
Absolutely. Right. And so it's constantly moving through the game.
Right.
And so you've seen there is a little bit of volatility in traditional sports betting, too, where the line is moving back and forth. But to your point, perhaps not as great. Look, there was a lot of success, I think, in the presidential election for what predictions markets could be. I spoke with, you just heard, J.B. McKenzie, the Robinhood executive, and he said, we're even starting to think about predictions markets for things like interest rates or the jobs report.
I mean, that's what Kalshi does, right? They do the odds of the Fed cutting rates.
Exactly.
The odds of,
and even this product was done in partnership with Kalshi.
Right.
So, the idea of sort of like, look, you're already here. You're already making trades. This is just a new way to either hedge your investment or an interesting way to invest.
What about, you got some exclusive reporting on what NBA inside stuff?
Yeah, so fans of the NBA on NBC in the 1990s probably remember the old show NBA Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad and originally Willow Bay. And what we've learned is that the NBA has filed for the trademark to get for the name NBA Inside Stuff, potentially to lead up to a reboot of the show. NBC is considering bringing back a refreshed version of NBA Inside Stuff because they're getting NBA games again starting next season. I've reported in the past they're in talks with John Tesh to bring back the Round Ball Rock song. Still. These are long negotiations. But the whole idea here, I guess, is to kind of lean into the nostalgia of the NBA on NBC and tap into that audience that watched these games either as a kid or as an adult, in the 1990s and very early 2000s before NBC lost the NBA rights in 2002, and now they're coming back next season.
Right. Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
And I promise you, next time I'll discuss it with the powers that be.
You'll let me toss to the button.
Toss it to you. Alex is great.
And you will introduce him properly.
And I'll introduce you properly.
As he deserves.
As you deserve. But then you can do, I think it's better for you to do a soundbite.
It'll make my career.
And you know what the soundbite's going to say. You can give it the attention that it deserves. For more on what Alex is talking about, head to cnbc.com/sports and listen to the CNBC Sport Podcast.